Every so often, an analyst comes out with a report that states that you can't time the market. The specifics vary from study to study, but the general theme is usually the same. The report shows the S&P 500 over a 15 or 20-year period and shows what the results would have been had an investor missed out on the best 10, 20, 30, and so on days of the market. They do this by isolating the days with the largest gains and setting them back to 0% as if they never happened. In a 20-year period, the odds of missing out those exact 10 days out of 5,036 trading days would be 1 in 10.5 trillion. Terrible luck, or amazing luck. These studies are correct in their assessment that missing out those 10 days would be truly terrible. The annualized returns quickly diminish from a positive rate to a negative rate the more of the best days were missed. Oftentimes, these studies highlight that the best days are in close proximity to the days with the greatest losses, which is also correct. Their assertion is that by jumping out of the market at these periods of time, somehow with some clairvoyance as to when the absolute best days are, you take such a large risk that you must always be invested. But what if the opposite was true? What if instead of having the worst timing, missing the 10 best days, you had the best timing and missed the 10 worst days? The odds are still the same, practically non-existent in actual execution. But that's what they went with, so let's take a look at the inverse of their premise. What you find out is that by missing out of the worst days of the market, you drastically increase your annualized rate of return. But there's something else to the story. Now, you may have already caught it in the original argument. These studies cite that the best days are often around the worst days. The reason why they highlight this fact is because they know that oftentimes investors will capitulate as a result of these losses and consequently miss the later gains. These studies have already told us that they are in close proximity, so if you miss the best days, you might also miss the worst days. So what if in order to miss out of the worst days, you also had to miss out of the best gains? How would that impact the S&P 500 performance? If you had missed out the 10 best and worst days, your annualized performance increases from 5.6% to 6.3%, and it continues from there. In fact, there's a surprising trend that appears the more days that were missed. If you would have missed out of the 600 best and worst days, that's 1,200 market days, you would have increased your annualized performance from 5.6% to 9.36%. Now, all this is academic and based on perfect hindsight. It isn't possible to do exactly what is outlined in this. However, it gives credence to a couple key concepts. You don't always have to be invested all the time, and the best days and the worst days tend to congregate together. There is a time to be invested and a time to be in cash. Investment returns are enhanced by lower volatility and overall trend capture, not by only capturing or avoiding a handful of investment days over a multi-year period. These market experts are right about one thing. Investors need to be proactive in their risk management, not reactive to the market.
Spend some time with us, and we will work with you to develop strategies to your specific needs around this market.
The opinions voiced in this material are for general information only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. All performance is historical and has no guarantee of future results. All indices are unmanaged and may not be invested into directly. Stock investing involves risk, including loss of principal. No strategy assures success or protects against loss.